Court calls the matter of Talanda versus Buchino, case number 2019-6876 DC. All parties and attorneys can please state their name and appearance for the record, starting with the plaintiff, Ms. Talanda.
I'm Kaylin Talanda.
Good afternoon.
And good afternoon, Attorney Alicia Bernash here on behalf of the defendant, Jared Buchino.
Good afternoon, everyone. Today's date and time set for a hearing. Due to the pandemic, the Supreme Court and Chief Judge have made decisions to have these matters handled remotely. Contents of this video may be the official record of a proceeding of the state of Michigan's 9th Judicial Circuit. Unauthorized duplication, distribution, alteration of said content is strictly prohibited. Today's date and time set for a motion to set aside the friend of the court recommended uniform child support order. It's filed April 26. Ms. Talanda, are you representing yourself today?
I am, Your Honor.
Okay. I'm confused by the motion. Ms. Bernash, are you saying there's an agreement on this matter, or is this not an agreement?
It's my understanding that we don't have an agreement. When we originally started this, we were hoping that we would come to an agreement, but I've had a number of conversations with Ms. Talanda, and I do not believe that she is in agreement with it at this time.
Okay, and that was in your number 10, it says, based upon the foregoing, the parties hereby agree. So that's no longer the case, is your understanding?
No, I apologize. When I originally drafted this, I drafted as a stipulated order, and then when I converted it to a motion, I must have missed that part. But no, there is no agreement in this matter.
Okay. Okay, Ms. Talanda, you're in agreement that there is no agreement. You can test their motion?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I guess, Ms. Bernash, there was an objection to the friend of the court's recommended order, but that was withdrawn. That was signed on November 20th, 2020. So why should I withdraw it now when you both had the opportunity to withdraw it? You withdrew those objections and entered the judgment of custody.
Yes, Your Honor, and if I can, what happened is when we submitted the final order, we had submitted it to Ms. Law, and it had the final order regarding custody and parenting time. That was actually submitted in September. We didn't have the child support issue worked out at that time. There was a number of, and I can go through, I've got kind of a timeline here if you need more specifics, but ultimately what happened is when we reached a final resolution on the child support, we entered in a stipulated child support order that has everybody's signature on it, and that said that that would begin November 1st. There was no discussion about us having this interim order. In fact, if you look at the child support order, it doesn't say that it's a modification, it just says it's a final order, and that was the only support order that was intended to be entered. It was I guess the wrong terminology was used when Ms. Law emailed and said, hey, we have these outstanding objections. The order should have read that this resolves those objections, not withdraws the objections. So that was I guess a mistake on the terminology on my part. At no point in time, and I have a number of emails between Attorney Sharp and I where we agree on November 1st because Ms. Talanda is still in the home. I sent over, hey, can we make this official on November 1st and she's still in the home? She sent back, she's the one who drafted the uniform child support order with the November 1st effective date. She sent that back over, we submitted it, and it was just a mistake in the terminology. There was never an intention, the calculations are completely inaccurate. Nobody agrees with those calculations. Mr. Buchino was never on unemployment. None of it was accurate. Both parties objected, and that final order that we submitted with the order regarding custody and parenting time was meant to be the only order that went into effect since Ms. Talanda was still in the home at the time that we entered that. So my client's position was he didn't want to pay child support while she was still living in the home that he owned, that he was paying solely for. She wasn't paying rent, she wasn't paying mortgage, she wasn't paying any of those. So that was a big contention in the I guess the order regarding custody, and that's where kind of it all came about, is we were trying to line it up when she left the home.
Okay, so Ms. Talanda, you disagree. So Ms. Give me a second. This is very Ms. Bernash, you're saying the November 20th, 2020 order should not be in effect.
There was 2 child support orders that entered on that date. There was the temporary one that was the friend of the court recommendation that got entered, and then immediately it all got entered kind of at the same time. It was that one, and then the actual child support order that everybody signed that was effective November 1st. That one is supposed to be in effect. It was this FOC recommended order that was never intended to go into effect. My client
So
never.
You're saying that, hold on, you're saying the order that says $317 a month that was signed by everybody should be in effect?
That's correct. That is the correct child support order. The other one that was entered before that from the friend of the court is incorrect. And I believe it was entered the same day.
Okay. Ms. Talanda, why don't you think the 317 is accurate?
I'm going to have to disagree, Your Honor. The 317 is not accurate because it's based on my daughter's father, Mr. Buchino, making, I think it was 80,000, and myself making 35,000, and myself being the only one paying medical. My daughter is on state aid, Your Honor. So the state is currently paying for our daughter. It's from my understanding that Mr. Buchino never submitted his actual income and taxes back in January, around January 20th of 2020, when you granted myself temporary sole legal, sole physical custody of our daughter. So temporary support was even based on the fact that he was unemployed. And I know that is why Tara, my attorney, Ms. Sharp, and I disagreed with the temporary order.
So give me the temporary one first. My staff's printing them out for me. What do you think the child support amount should be per month?
I think I think child support should be based on our actual incomes, Your Honor.
I'm sorry, what was the number you think it should be at?
I think it should be based on our actual income. I know at one point, Jared's employers did submit his income to my attorney, and it was over $100,000. I am currently unemployed due to COVID and medical issues.
Yeah, but that sounds like change in circumstances. So Ms. Bernash wants to get rid of the FOC recommendation, correct, Ms. Bernash?
That's correct. It was $202 per month, and that was an incorrect order that nobody intended to have entered.
And you want to enter the one signed by all parties November 20th, 2020, and that is your client is then paying $317.
That's correct. That is the correct child support order that is based off of the parties.
Hold on. I don't just you want the 317, right?
That's correct. Yes.
So if I kept it at FOC, it'd be down to 202, correct?
Correct, but that's not the correct amount. Yes.
Okay, but you're asking your client, you're being honest, both of you are being honest, you're saying it should be 317, that's accurate.
That's correct. I think the only thing it would be that ours, the 317 is not effective till November.
Okay, when do you think it should be effective by?
November, that was the correct order. All I'm saying is that
November.
For order, we never intended for that to go to enter. We intended the 317 order to take its place. Because we both object.
Ms. Talanda, things may have changed since then, and you can change child support by filing a motion, but you all agreed to the 317 in September. In fact, that's higher, not by much, $115 a month, higher than the 202 recommendation of friend of the court. You don't want the 317 admitted?
I guess that's where, I guess my attorney kind of led me to the path, Your Honor, where I truly don't understand what occurred at the end of our court case. I never received temporary support for our daughter I had sole legal, sole physical custody from January to September. I never received any support because Mr. Buchino saw it as, you know, my daughter and I in his home that he was paying his mortgage on as him paying temporary support. So I think
Okay.
that's where that there is a miss here. So I just wanted
Okay.
all straightened and figured out. My daughter is still on state aid.
Okay. Anything else by either party? Anything else?
Nothing else on my end.
Anything else, Ms. Talanda?
No, sir.
Okay. Well, it sounds like, Ms. Talanda, there may have been a change since then about you being unemployed or not making as much, and you can file a motion with regards to that, but it is clear to this court, it's confusing. You know, there's a lot of stuff entered, but I'm going to grant the all the parties signed it. I have an order here, November 20th, they agreed, $317 a month. That's the order of this court. If something changes and either party wants to file something, they can. But the $317 per month will go into effect in November of 2020. If something changes, either party can file a motion. But that was assigned, I'm looking at this order, signed by Ms. Talanda, prepared by her attorney, Ms. Sharp, signed by Mr. Buchino, and signed by his attorney, Ms. Bernash. So that'll be the order of this court. If Ms. Talanda or Mr. Buchino, I don't know what's going on in either of your lives right now. If anything changes, you can look into filing something, but at this point, that's the child support order of this court. Ms. Bernash, anything further?
No, would you like me to draft that order?
You can, yes.
Okay.
And Ms. Talanda, anything further, any questions?
I do have one question, Your Honor. Can I ask about arrears?
You can file something with friend of the court if you need arrears. It's not before
Okay.
me today, or if you think you were
Okay.
ordered arrears.
Okay,
But when everyone says this is the judgment of custody and this is the final child support order, and they miss over those things, that may be an issue between you and your former attorney.
right.
But you can file something with FOC asking about arrears. But I don't know what the court or whatever hearing official has it would do at that time.
Okay.
Okay. Anything else by anybody?
Nothing further.
All prior orders not affected by